I've been following this story for a few days now, okay? I've been following this story for a few days now. And I wanted to make sure that all of the details came out before we started to have an uncomfortable conversation. I'm going to read that super chat shortly, William Lucian. I wanted to make sure that all of the details came out before we started having an uncomfortable conversation. Now, what's going on, y'all? What we doing? What's happening? We have our differences. We may be on different political spectrums. But the thing that I say on a regular basis before I start to present this information to y'all via clips is I rock with people based off of character, not the color of their skin. Let me say it one more time. I roll with people based off of character, not the color of their skin. I don't like bullies. I don't like bullies because bullies are bullies because of whatever it is that they are. I don't like the herd that can't think for themselves when they start to see something that's wrong. I don't advocate for anybody losing their life. I don't advocate for doxing. I don't advocate for people losing their ability to be able to feed their family. I will never do that, and I stand on that. And regardless of what people think as far as the black issue and the white issue, we gonna have to, we gotta stop, y'all. Seriously. If it's not heartbreaking to you because of the color of somebody's skin of what happened to them, and you only align yourself based off of things that we can't even control about ourselves, we live in a sad world. We live in a very, very sad world. Let me share with you what's going on for those of you that's not familiar. Again, make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. If you're not a part of the Patreon, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat.
A reminder to all of us to have those difficult conversations with our children and remind them that their actions have consequences. Their actions have lasting consequences. Their actions have life-altering consequences.
8 Rancho High School students arrested for the murder of their classmate. 2 more are still wanted by police.
Fox 6's Kim Passoff is back at Rancho High School tonight, near where the off-campus fight happened. She joins us live now with the latest from police.
Yeah, last night we were here and we brought you that emotional interview with the father of the teen who lost his life after that brutal attack just off of school campus earlier this month. Today, Metro announced that there was a joint operation with the FBI this morning, serving 9 search warrants, taking phones and clothes, as well as 8 teens into custody.
I'm here today to announce that we have 8 suspects in custody for the murder of Jonathan Lewis.
Nearly 2 weeks after the brutal attack on 17-year-old Jonathan Lewis, classmates at Rancho High School, ages 17 to just 13 years old, were taken into custody.
After the fight occurred, he was laying unconscious and unresponsive in the back alley, and a citizen nearby saw him, began attending to him, and carried him back to Rancho High School, which is what prompted the initial 911 phone calls.
Let's stop here for a second. Y'all raising demons. You're raising demons. I don't know if anybody told you. I don't know if anybody has been this direct with you. You're raising demons. They have no compassion. How can they be 13 years old, 17 years old? Everything that they're doing and everything that they're a part of is a learned behavior. 17, 16, 13, 14. And they stomach don't turn at the possibility of somebody getting hit in the face. Man, that's the last resort. We're supposed to be living in 2023, a civilized, technologically advanced society where we're all interconnected and we all know better, but you got these little monsters and nobody had to listen. They beat him so senseless and they left him there. And nobody had the sense to say, hey, fam, hey, y'all, stop. Hey, stop. I had a conversation with my daughter yesterday. And she obviously is familiar with this because news travels fast. And she was one of the people that first alerted me to what was going on, right? And she goes to school in communities where largely this type of thing does not take place. However, she's not absolved from seeing all of the different things that happen in schools, right? And she made a suggestion. She said, maybe everybody should just be homeschooled. Maybe everybody should just be homeschooled.
The fight happened right after school on November 1st.
It is directly east of Rancho High School.
Investigators say it was over a pair of stolen wireless headphones and possibly a marijuana vape pen. The 17-year-old victim stepping in to defend a smaller student.
And the minute the punch is thrown with that person, 10 subjects immediately swarm him, put him to the ground, and begin kicking, punching, and stomping on him, not defending himself, and to the point where he becomes unconscious.
Investigators say though the students were different races, there is no evidence this was a hate crime.
If this was a hate crime, there would be someone getting arrested for charges related to it being hate crime.
Monday, Fox 5 spoke with Lewis's dad, who says that justice will take much more than just the arrests of the attackers.
Justice is a deep, deep thing for me, and there's a lot more to it than just these kids going to prison. Justice to me is, what is the community going to do about this?
They're not going to do nothing. Father, whose son did the right thing and stuck up for a smaller kid. And I don't understand how we don't classify this as a hate crime. How is this not a hate crime? He was stomped on, brutally murdered. How is this not a hate crime? It's exactly what it is. This is exactly what it is. And that kid is never coming home to his father. And the father has to live with this. And guess what? The community, listen, if that kid had been black, let's just keep it a buck. Can we keep it 100 or we going to be politically correct? If the kid was black and it was a bunch of white kids that stomped on him, social media would be on fire right now. And I would be sitting here having an even more uncomfortable conversation about what we should be and what we shouldn't be. If you don't have the exact same outrage, and that means you're also an enabler of the thing that we hate the most about the culture, which is the fact that the good die early and the people are not truly held accountable to the same standards. Will you want the opportunity to have the accountability when it comes to you getting a better job and you claiming racism or you got fired, but we don't have the same energy when we can hold our own accountable because you justifying the bad behavior, and it's basically just creating a worse culture and even more separation amongst us. If this was a black kid and the kids was the opposite color of what they were that was stomping his face out, y'all would be not only labeling it a hate crime, you would see Umar Johnson all over it, Jesse Jackson, all of your black political leaders and black YouTube and Twitter would be on fire right now. You would not be able to go anywhere on your timeline without seeing this. If it wasn't for my daughter actually bringing this to my attention, then we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now.
You know, when are people going to wake up and start having some compassion for one another and have some empathy and actually have a sense of community and actually work towards real solutions that for these children that are just going absolutely mad?
And police say that their investigation is far from over. They plan on releasing pictures of 2 more teens who they say were involved in the attack. Those pictures should be coming out shortly. As for, they're asking for witnesses to come forward, anyone who may have seen anything, anyone with video. Even if you think that they may have seen it, they are asking you to submit it so they can continue to build this case. As for these 8 teens who are already in custody. Those 13 to 17-year-olds, they are in juvenile hall tonight. It will be up to the district attorney whether or not they will be charged as adults.
Let me share with you the most recent update of what's going on with this, y'all.
Our 8 News Now investigators were in court and also tracked down not only some of the relatives of the victims and some of the suspects in this case, but also the district attorney, Steve Wolfson.
Now, DA Wolfson made the decision to charge that 13-year-old with murder, and as far as we can tell, making that juvenile the youngest murder defendant ever in Nevada. Kyle Payne is here now in studio with more.
So here's the question that we have to ask ourselves, because we know that it's wrong, and that's not even a debate. It's wrong. It was wrong as two left shoes. Is wrong. All right. So here's the question that you ask yourself. 13-year-old kid, a part of the stomping party, 13 through 17, all of these people are being charged with murder, right? Which means that their lives is going to be ruined for the rest of their life. All right. Here's the question that you have to ask yourself. Should they be charged with murder? Should they be charged with murder? Should they be charged with murder? Take the race part out of it. Take the gender part out of it. Should they be charged with murder? Let's continue.
Brian, we had 2 newsrooms in 2 juvenile courtrooms in a morning full of murder charges. This crime has people speechless, but that didn't stop us from trying to make some sense of it.
No.
Yeah, we're just asking some real quick questions. As adult, did you watch the video? It's very disturbing.
I didn't.
After adult,
Back up.
after adult filed out of the family court building in Las Vegas, most of the people who showed up in support of the 8 young men accused of this vicious beating had nothing to say, or at least nothing nice.
If y'all do, I'm suing. I'm not playing.
But we did speak with an uncle of one of the 16-year-old defendants, who did his best to defend his nephew.
Do you have any comment? Do you have anything to say? I mean, he did allegedly kick a kid to death and beat it.
Well, that's like you said, it's allegedly. So nobody knows who did what. So.
But it's on video.
I haven't seen the video. All you see is a bunch of kids in a crowd. You don't know who is who or what is what.
Do you think your nephew is innocent?
I don't know.
Is this must be terrible for the family.
It's terrible for all the families, not just his family. It's terrible for all the families.
Terrible especially for the family of the victim, 17-year-old Jonathan Lewis, whose grieving father spoke exclusively with 8 News Now's Joshua Peguero shortly after his son was taken off life support.
We're just feeling a lot of, obviously a lot of really deep pain and
to die in the manner in which he died by the number of people involved is shocking.
Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson made the decision to try all of these defendants as adults, including the youngest, a 13-year-old boy.
We're not talking about a 6-year-old. We're not talking about an 8-year-old. We're talking about a middle schooler, I would imagine, at 13.
Hello. Hey, can you do me a favor? So it was a kid, I guess, that was murdered in Nevada, and his father is distraught about it or whatever. I think his name is Jonathan Lewis. Can you see if we can figure out where he is or what he is and see what his information is and see if we can reach out to him and see if we can get him on a platform?
Yes.
All right, thanks.
I think to answer your question fairly, depends on the 13-year-old.
Wolfson says it's an ongoing and current investigation. 4 of those teenagers are old enough by Nevada law to go directly to adult court.
All right, Kyle, so I think that the headline that a lot of people are looking at is, what about that 13-year-old?
Well, the 4 between the ages of 13 and 15 will have to be certified by a judge as adults.
Right.
That hearing is set for December 6th right now. The one thing we learned in court today is that 13-year-old is also charged with his 15-year-old brother.
Wow.
The 13 and the 15-year-old brother was involved in the same thing. The 13 and the 15-year-old was both involved with the same thing. You know, I was always taught that I was coming up. If it wasn't our business, then you get up out of there. You don't stick around. You don't try to figure out what's going on. yo, before everything even pop off, you get out of there. That is not your business. Do not participate in what's happening with this whole herd mentality and people coming together to do the thing that's not in the best interest of whoever it is. It's like, get out of there. You don't want to be a witness. You don't want to participate. You don't want to get caught up in it. You don't even want them to touch you. Just leave. Even today, as a 41-year-old man, if I pull up and I'm getting a bad feeling about an area, or it don't look right, or it's too many of a certain demographic smoking trees, or, you know what I'm saying? I see a bunch of chicks that don't look like that they gonna make the right decision. Once they get a couple drinks inside of them, I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm out. 100% I'm gone. I don't want to be involved. I never was a part of the crowd. I never was the type of person that wanted to be in a group think mentality, unless we were a group of people that was going in a certain direction. I just don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. I don't want to participate. I'm not interested, and I feel sorry for the family. Hopefully we can get an interview with the father and get some more context as to what he's experiencing and what's being told to him. So I'm going to work on that for y'all, and we're going to see where we can go with that.